Welcome back, everyone. So, new arena season means that we're going to go ahead and take a look at the first game I played. I thought it was a informative game on how to play the game, and I'm going to try and take the perspective of over-explaining a little bit since it is a new arena season. You might be getting some new people watching these videos, so I want to go into a little bit of extra thoughts as to how and why I'm making the decisions I'm making. So, first thing we want to look at is our corporations. We see Valley Trust and Ecoline. Both are very strong corporations. So, which one we're going to take is going to depend on our hand. So, we look at our hand here. So, acquired company, it's a fine card. It's going to pay for itself over the game. So, basically, okay. Urbanized area, this is a good card if there's going to be a lot of cities. We don't know if there are or are not. Something to think about. Great Dam, usually a card that is not super great because 4 Oceans is a significant barrier to getting that power online. You don't want to waste that much cash early on to hold it. It's good, it's just not that good. It's more of a, if I happen to draw it when there's 4 Oceans already, it's better than like geothermal power or something like that. Wave power, same problem. 3 Oceans is a relatively big requirement, and for 1 more ocean, you can get an extra power and use steel on it for 4 mega credits more. So, I mean, Great Dam is just better than wave power, but same deal, not very good. Micro Mills, one of the worst cards in the game because at 6 mega credits for heat production, it's not really doing enough for you. Windmills, 7% auction is really far away, kind of the same problem as Great Dam. If I need power and we're close to it, then sure, it's fine, but as of right now, it's not worth it. Soletta. So Soletta is definitely a card we want to talk about because Soletta is heat control for the game. And when I am playing Ecoline, I already have plants taken care of. I'm looking for heat. And so Soletta solves a lot of that problem. Cupola City is a good city, but it needs power, and it can be a little bit inefficient to play it sometimes. Birds is a great card, but it depends. If Oxygen is the last parameter to max, it's not a particularly good card. If Oxygen is the first parameter to max, it's a great card. Ganymede Colony works well if you're going a Jovian strat. In order to go a Jovian strat, you need to have Titanium and usually card draw. I have neither of those in my hand, so a Jovian strat doesn't really seem feasible for me. And if we look at our preludes, we got Donation, Huge Asteroid, Mining Operations, and Polar Industries. So Huge Asteroid is the one that immediately jumps to mind. This is a great prelude because 3 temperature raises means that we're talking about 24 heat it gives you, and even gives you 1 heat prod. So if the game goes, 10 gens, that's 9 heat that comes from that heat prod. So it's essentially 4 temperature raises. So 32 heat just gone from the game. That's incredible value. Mining Ops is a good prelude, certainly, for steel production, but already I'm kind of looking at this hand. I'm going Huge Asteroid, Soletta, Ecoline. I really just want to play a lean rush setup because that's just going to score very consistently, and I don't need to rely on cards as much in order to succeed. So while Mining Ops is okay, Polar Industries is more heat over the course of the game. Again, say we go to like Gen 10, this gives me an Ocean, which is about 14 mega credits worth of value, and the 2 heat will be like 18 heat, so 2 heat raises of value as well. So already heat is looking pretty good if I take Polar Industries. So here's the kicker though. Ecoline has 36 mega credits, and I'm losing 5 mega credits from the Huge Asteroid. Even if I take Polar Industries and put it on the Titanium, I'm not actually able to play Soletta Gen 1 if I go that route. If I were to want to play Soletta Gen 1, I need to take Donation. And if I take Donation, I can play Soletta Gen 1, and I can even take like an acquired company, maybe like a Birds or something, or Cupola City as speculation. But the problem is that while I'm getting 7 heat and some MC prod, so maybe it's worth it if you consider the MC prod. But my thinking when I was looking at the game is, I'm getting 7 heat, but I'm giving up on 18 heat, was kind of the math that I was thinking about. and an ocean, and ocean could be relevant. And so essentially what I decide on is I just need Soletta, Polar Industries, Huge Asteroid. I'm just going to accept I'm not going to be able to play Soletta Gen 1. I'm going to give up on that 7 heat to get 18 heat, and then I'm going to count on just being able to end the game there and work my way up the oxygen track with some plant cards I might find that scale off heat. And so I just take these. That's it. I know some of you watching this video are going, that's crazy. You should always take Acquired Company, or you should always take Cupola City. And I agree. They're good cards. They're certainly above average cards. But when you're playing a terraforming setup and you have a big expensive card, you really need to make sure that you're playing lean enough and not getting too distracted by MC Prod. So yeah, let's do the math on Acquired Company. 13 mega credits. That means that, Gen 5, it's just now beginning to pay off. So it's like 15 mega credits. So it's like one SP asteroid at the end of the game. Like, that's fine. It's not like nothing. But the tempo loss on having to play this immediately is going to be difficult since I'm not taking donation. Like I already said, I'm basically using all my starting cash on Soletta. Say I find 3 cards in the draft I really, really want to keep for terraforming. I'm down to like 11 cash, and now I got to play one of those terraforming cards. And you can see how I never find time for Acquired Company if the draft works that way. So I just take these, and that's all I need. My opponent is IC, Interplanetary Cinematics. They love to have events, and they start with a bunch of steel, so they're naturally going to be pushing for the builder milestone and looking to probably play a couple cities. As ecoline with this setup, you're highly incentivized to go for both the Gardener and the Terraformer milestone. Those are the 2 natural milestones that come with this play, and if you can get both of them, then you're in good shape for ending the game quickly into a win before your opponent has time to really do anything. A rush setup like this for ecoline is the definition of what I would call a high floor and a low ceiling. So I'm never really going to get too screwed with this setup. I'm always going to score respectably. The question is will my opponent's setup be better than my floor, right? Because my ceiling's not very high either. If he gets a crazy setup, suddenly I'm in a lot of trouble because my setup just can't compete with the crazier setup. But hopefully I'm moving fast enough he doesn't have time to assemble a crazy setup. So I get my 3 bumps and the heat. So I have an option. I can take 2 cards, or I can take 2 titanium. Oh, I forgot to get my second column. I don't know why it doesn't do this when I go to reviews. So I can take 2 cards or 2 titanium. I reason that I'm so poor after I play Soletta next gen that I should take the 2 titanium. The $6 seems pretty impactful over 2 cards. He plays Great Aquifer and takes the 2 cards and another card, so he definitely wants some cards there. The good news is oceans look pretty much taken care of. Bad news is he does have quite a bit of cards that he drew there. Hopefully they weren't anything too good. I just pass. I can't play the Soletta. He plays Mars University. That was one of the cards that he drew from the ocean. That is unfortunate. And he plays Martian Survey, which, again, IC loves playing events. And with Mars University, he now is getting to draw 3 cards. So that's pretty strong. And he gets some money back from the event as well. And we go on to the next draft. All right, so what's important here? What's important is when you're playing against IC, you don't want to give them ways to spend their steel. As you can see, he had no ways of spending his steel except for Mars University, which granted is a fantastic way to spend your steel. What do I see in my hand though? I see a Protected Valley. You don't want to give this to IC because 1, it is a plant tag, which is dangerous for helping make nitrogen-rich asteroid a thing, or NRA, as we'll call it a lot on this channel. 2, it can help insects and Ecozone and Decompose, which are also all excellent scoring cards. So again, pass with caution. 3, it's a way to spend his steel, and we don't want to give him a way of spending this steel. This is a liability for IC if they can't find a way to spend it early. If they can, they're richer than Credicore. It's not something you want to have happen. 4, this fights me on my Gardener milestone. I don't want to give him an easy way of fighting me on Gardener, because that's one of the milestones I'm counting on to have a high enough floor in order to win the game. So it's an obvious Protected Valley take right here. Okay, next up here, Giant Space Mirror and Mangrove are both the considerations I have in this pack. Giant Space Mirror you should always consider because it is energy, which you usually need in order to play building tags. It might be he has plenty of building tags, but no energy, and Giant Space Mirror solves that problem for him. However, I am looking to go on the heat path with Soletta, and if I'm rushing heat, Mangrove becomes a fantastic card. That is a 3-point card right there for 50 mega credits. By itself, it is already at the efficiency you would want from all your discounts and combos at the end of the game. But right now, default, it is already just that good. So I think you can make an argument for either one, but the thing is Giant Space Mirror, it's not good for me. Not really. It's okay, but I'm not as incentivized to play it when I'm about to play Soletta and get up to 10 heat prod as I am the Mangrove. And so I think you take the Mangrove here. Of these cards, neither one really matters. I'm not really planning on getting Steel, but I'm also not really sure Ants is that good. I ultimately say, if I get incremental Steel like a Mine card somewhere, I'd prefer that he doesn't have the ability to hit me with it. I don't think Ants is going to do anything. And predictably he takes back the Giant Space Mirror, which means that he predictably wants some power. He wants to use some of the titanium to spend on it. It sucked having to give it to him, but I think Mangrove is worth it. Of these cards, I think you can take both Protected Valley and Mangrove, play the Soletta here, and just work towards our Gardener plans. And he now plays Earth Catapult. Uh-oh. That's not good. He has opened up with the 2 strongest cards in the game right off the bat, Mars University and Earth Catapult. Yeah, already I can tell I'm in trouble, and I am so glad I am about to play Soletta and push this game along, because it already looks dubious that I would be able to compete with whatever engine I see is cooking up here. Then Giant Space Mirror also comes down, makes sense. I play my Soletta, he plays a Strip Mine. So that is a fantastic way for him to spend his Steel, and it's kind of the downside of passing the Giant Space Mirror. If I had known that he had the Strip Mine, I certainly would not have passed Giant Space Mirror, because now he has a lot of production coming from that play. But, on the other hand, at least this Mangrove is still good points for me later on in the game. Colonizer Training Camp, that implies he's kind of looking to go Joves. I'm a little skeptical of this move. There's no rush. It's 5% oxygen, so you don't need to rush on playing your point cards before it's ready. You might find better things to do later. Just be patient on it. Because now I'm already getting a sense of, I need to be careful about not passing Joves, whereas before I may not have been as worried about it. Okay, speaking of passing Joves, so what do you not give the guy who just played Strip Mine? That also has Mars U. You don't give him Advanced Alloys. This is a terrible draft for me. None of these cards are particularly good for me. They're all great for what he's doing, and you absolutely hate seeing it. But Advanced Alloys, that's 4 production for him. It's a card draw with Mars University. It's just a card you can't pass. Too dangerous. These are great cards for me, so I guess he must have been a little frustrated on the other side. Imported Hydrogen is a great way to put down another ocean and work towards getting plants in order to move along towards my goal of Gardener. Of these cards, it's close. So you have to consider 2 different things in this situation. 1, is he going a Jovian strategy? He just took Asteroid Mining, so I think it's pretty likely he is going to be going for a Jovian strategy. 2, is he going for a science strategy? He has Mars University, so again, yeah, I think it's pretty clear he's looking to go a science strategy as well. Both these cards accomplish that. This card makes progress towards AI Central, Quantum Extractor, Antigrav, and Mass Converter. This card is points if he finds Jove Molts. But that's a late game into play, and by itself it's not that effective. So I think the Probe is more dangerous than the Mines, and that's my rationale for picking it. Of these cards, I do often like speculating on advanced alloys because it is such a powerful card in the early game, but my hand is lean. I am not planning on getting mineral production. I'm not really planning on getting any real production unless it's exceedingly cheap and just drops into the floor. I'm really just looking on plants and heat and not much else when I see the overwhelming strength of my opponent's engine already. So because of that, you just take imported hydrogen because it is a very good way to get a conversion, and it helps us with getting down oceans as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and convert right here beside Noctis City. Why do I choose to convert right here beside Noctis City? It's twofold. One, that gets me 2 plants. 2 plants means that when I play imported hydrogen, I can pick up 5 plants for it. When I pick up 5 plants, that's 2 plus 5 gets me to 7. Ecoline's ability lets me convert for 7 plants, which means that I can put an ocean right here, and then I can immediately convert right here to get 2 cash back and start walking along the south. Also, I have access to the south. With the protected valley, I can also place it over here to the north and be able to access the greenery rebates around these areas as well, which is the reason I chose here around Noctis City. There is a downside to this play, and it's that it does risk Noctis City getting played, and if Noctis City is played, then I gave my opponent 2 points. Of course, on the flip side, I could find Noctis City, and then it's points for myself. So in this early stage of the game, I don't really worry about does he have Noctis, does he not. I'm just taking the best spot for me and planning on working my way along these oceans, and if he has it, he has it. I can go and play Protected Valley over here. Based on the money, I think this was a slight mistake. What I should have done is I should have just passed. And I could play imported hydrogen and then convert and get 2 cash back. And then I can play Protected Valley over here. But, minor misplay. I think I was not paying that much attention based on just staying ahead on the timer. Business Contacts is a great card for him because he gets 2 mega credits back from it. Gets to see 4 cards, of which some are pretty OP, I'm guessing. Sponsors comes down. I raise heat. Yes, he could have Deep Well. Yes, he could have Asteroid. He could have any number of things. At this point, though, I'm just essentially saying if you want to raise heat, I'm okay with that. I want to make sure I get out of this game, and if you help me on that, I'm okay with sacrificing a heat production in order to move the game along. And I fund Landlord. So this is gutsy. Okay, I will go ahead and say this is a gutsy play. I am not really saying that it's even a good play. But from my position, look at my hand. I've got 2 cards. Look at his hand. He's got card draw. He's got Mars U. He's got discounts. He can get Banker almost assuredly. Scientist, almost a given. I don't want to fund Thermalist because if he gets Quantum or Mass Converter, he can lock or Optimal Arrow Braking. It becomes much harder to end the game. And Minor, he's already flat out winning, right? 4 production to 0. So seeing the overwhelming strength of his funds, I say I'm just going to take the Landlord fund right now. If you're beating me on Landlord, I'm losing regardless. So I'm going to just go ahead and YOLO on this fund. Hope I still have enough time to play my cards. My hand is relatively empty. So giving myself a little break here. It was a couple days since I played this. Maybe the reason I did Protected Valley and not imported Hydrogen into Protected Valley was to go for the ambitious fund before he had the chance in order to play and fund himself next generation. So yeah, we'll say that instead of a mistake. Calculated, we'll say. He does not like his cards from Business Network, which I am very thankful for. And we go on to the next gen. Alright, so do I need more heat prod? Not really. Really, there's kind of diminishing returns on heat production once you get above 10 heat prod, I would say. GHG factories and carbonate processing are both very similar. I don't really care which one of these that he plays. What I do not want to give him is I don't really want to give him Dome Crater. This allows him to be annoying with the tiles. It allows him to like plop it over here, block off my conversions around these oceans with the city. Lets him continue production, fight towards mirror a little bit. Just an annoying card, so I don't want to give that to him. Aquifer Pumping is a little interesting, but it's expensive. I already have an ocean in hand. 5 oceans remain. I really hope I'll find Giant Ice Asteroid, Lake Marineris, something like that. I think Aquifer Pumping's too expensive, and if he wants to spend his steel on it, that's fine. Land Claim has the most potential to be annoying. He has a built-in media group, so it means with Earthcat, he'd only pay 1 mega credit for this card, and all he'd have to do is just go boop, put it right there on the Sinai, and all of a sudden I can't do the Ocean Walk on the south, and that would be extremely annoying. So because of that, Land Claim is the card to cut there. He took 1 power, fine. I'll take the other 1 heat. I'll take the other heat, and take none. You might be going, well, Thread, why don't you take Dome Crater? Isn't that a good card for ecoline? It is, but with what power? Look at the cost of it. It's 27 mega credits. You think with a terraforming strategy I can afford to play this before 7% O2? No. This is too expensive. If I'm going to do a city, it's an SP city. Before I spend 27 plus 7 for the energy, which I don't even have, so it's really a standard project energy, so 11. 27 plus 11, 38 mega credits for a point and 3 plants as opposed to just 25 for an SP city? No chance. He takes 1 card, I take none. None of that can work for me. He does like the card he finds from his card draw, and it's a research outpost. Well, that's really unfortunate. So now he has another global discount in order to all of his cards. He now gets to draw another card from Mars University, and he puts it on a card, meaning he's digging even harder. I go ahead and say I'm just going to put down the ocean and start converting. I am thankful he put the city there. I think it's a mistake. Why is it a mistake? I understand he is searching for cards because he has a very strong engine and wants to find ways of getting cards in order to play with his -3 discounts. The problem is that what I want to do is I want to go along and convert my plants in these areas. So if I'm able to walk around this way and not give him any points, that's great for me. If he were to move his city up 1, I would now, in order to get these ocean rebates, have to give him 3 points, and I really don't want to do that if I can avoid it. So I think it'd have been the better move, because if you ask yourself, what would you be willing to pay? 1 card or 3 points? You'd say 3 points, right? So I think you should be putting the city up here instead. He plays that asteroid mining. We passed him. Makes enough sense. I'm very glad he doesn't have advanced alloys. I go ahead and raise heat. I can claim Gardener, and I might as well. I've got nothing else to spend my money on. He's looking like he's on the way to Builder. I'm at 30 Terraforming, so it looks like I'm pretty likely to get Terraformer, so I'm just going to go ahead and claim Gardener and plan on getting Terraformer as soon as I can. Alright, unfortunate. So Plantation is useless for me. It's good for him. Space Hotels is useless for me. It's good for him. Energy tapping could be annoying to take energy away from him, and I could have a use for energy at some point during the game. Import of Advanced GHG is okay, but it's not great, and as it is 11 heat prod now, I really don't need more heat prod. I like to take away the Plantation with the rationale of I really don't want to lose Landlord, and this is a tile. Giving him Space Hotels is obviously not great. It is, in fact, something I would call very annoying and bad, but it's Gen 5. It's not like it's a huge amount of money. Gen 5, it is basically, say we go Gen 10, right? 20 mega credits for a cost of 15, though -3, so cost of 12. So it's 8 mega credits, right? So it's like an Indentured Workers. An amazing card, but it's not getting him any points per se, right? It's just 8 extra cash at the end of the game. Compared to 3 points from the Plantation, I think this is the more dangerous card. Oh, jeez. Like, the bad drafts keep coming. At least it looks likely I'm going to get Lycan back, because I suspect I have to cut the Interstellar Colony ship because it's a point bomb at the end of the game. He's looking like he's making his way towards science, so I should cut the point bombs away from him. He would take Quantum, I would take Lycan, and I just pray he doesn't find the last 2 science tags for it. So I take Interstellar. Energy tapping, import, neither really matters here. I take energy tapping just because if I do get energy, I'd hate for him to be annoying. I'd rather be annoying back to him. And Lycan comes back. I think Lycan is still okay at this stage of the game. Plantation, I'm afraid, isn't getting played. I don't have any science tags, and they're so expensive for what I'm trying to do, which is just rush the end of the game. I don't really see a world in which I'm going to be able to play Plantation. So what do I do here? I do an SP Ocean. Is this a good play? Not really. However, I don't really have much of a choice. I need money. That's a fact. When you're playing lean like this against a superior engine, you have to maximize your rebates. And maximizing rebates involves placing them next to oceans. SP Ocean allows me to maximize my rebates. Why is it not a great play? Because if my opponent has algae, I just turned it on for him, which is really unfortunate. It's going to help him fight me on Landlord. And that's not great. However, at this point, I'm also on the fight for Terraformer. It is a step towards Terraformer. It gets me the conversion. I think ultimately it just has to be done. So I am making the O2 bump available to him, but realistically I don't see a way he gets it. Strip mine's already been played. Like mining expedition into plantation isn't a thing because I just cut plantation. He'd have to do an SP greenery, which is kind of expensive in terms of just pure cash for him right now. He really wants to be playing cards, not standard projects with -3 to all cards. So I ultimately say, I think it's okay going to 6% here. I am still opening myself up to biomass combustors and small animals. So this is risky, but it is what it is. I can't help it. Next up is playing Lycan and raising heat, and I'm on the verge of Terraformer, which is looking pretty good. Doesn't like his card. He does like the space hotels. I don't blame him. He plays immigration shuttles. So I'm a little not happy with this play on his part, because realistically at this point, I'm not making many cities. I'm in a very lean rush setup. There's not time for me to put down cities. How many cities is he planning on putting down? I don't know. I suspect it's hard to defend more than 3 or 4. So essentially, he's paying 28 mega credits on 5 MC production in Gen 5, so goes 5 gens. It's not paying off. In order to pay off, he needs to get a victory point for it, and he needs to get it, 2 more cities down. Is getting 2 more cities down possible? Maybe. I don't know his hand. But the opportunity cost of 28 mega credits for basically to break even 5 gens later and get 1 victory point is massive. And so I'm not really a fan of this play. I will give the caveat of it becomes better if he has Miranda Resort and Cartel. It also is a little better if he plans on funding Banker. But overall, I just think it's a little too expensive for what he should be doing here. He plays Olympus Conference, which should have played before the immigration shuttles, because you're going to get your draw from Mars U. Might as well draw first and then play the big expensive card. But I digress. I play the Lycan because I'm liking it. Please don't unsubscribe. And that's it. Alright. Good cards here. He is going first. I have 6 plants. I don't really think I can give him Virus. That is a little too painful to get hit by. Archie is not playable anymore thanks to my 2 heat raises. It's just gone. And then Deepwell is a good card, but not really looking like it's that good either. So because of this, I think you have to take Virus here. We talked a little bit about how I might get some incidental steel production here, but as it is, it's not really useful for me. I still don't have power to use it. Asteroid is a movement up the terraforming track. It is also a way to maybe fight for Landlord a little bit better. So I think Asteroid is worth taking here over the other cards. Archie's not playable, so we take Deepwell Heating. You could argue that I could have recognized I'd get Deepwell Heating back and I could take Building Industries, but what's it really doing for me? What type of buildings am I really looking to play? Like Open City? is like the only building tag I can think of that I'd want to play, and I'd need power for that. So it just doesn't really make sense for a card like Deep Well Heating when I can just standard the power, standard the asteroid instead. I think because of the landlord considerations, it's worth considering both virus and asteroid. But I skip even the virus. I guess I'm saying I don't think he's actually going to be getting a meaningful amount of plants. I'm just going to keep it really lean. I think that's a mistake. I probably should keep virus no matter what here. So I'm going to chalk that up to a mistake as well on my part. He does like the card. He does play the building industries. Yeah, why not? Okay, once again I'm doing SP Ocean. Once again, this is a terrible idea if he has kelp farming. But I'm just looking to get my conversions and my rebates as best I can. So if he has like capital or something, it'd be pretty annoying for him to slap it down here, but it doesn't look like he can play it. Doesn't have the power, doesn't have the money. He does have that Miranda resort, so immigration shuttles is a little less dubious. Certainly still looking like he's pursuing a Jovian strategy with the Joves coming down. And he plays research, which you absolutely hate to see. So the research draws him 2 cards, and then draws him another card with the Olympus Conference, so 3, and then he cycles 2 with Mars U, so 5. He just got 5 new cards from that research, which is really bad news for me. I also know I passed him that Quantum Extractor, so now he's about to get a bunch of new power coming in. You can see him doing the cycles and the draws. Must be nice. I go ahead and raise the heat and take Terraformer, because I'm going to get 2 milestones. Without 2 milestones, it's looking really bad for me. I don't have a path to get a third. Mayor's too far out of the way. Builder's too far out of the way, and he's just 1 away. Planner also looking like his with me having 3 cards, so none of those are really possible. He plays Industrial Microbes and takes Builder. I'm not really a fan of the Industrial Microbes for mostly cash. It's okay, he does have a lot of mega credits already, but when you have 5 steel already, I'd kind of say, you know, okay, I'll just play the Industrial Microbes with steel later. It's not like I was contesting any of these milestones, as I mentioned, so I would have waited on his part, but I'm fine with that. I kept Deep Well Heating? I don't really agree with that. Sorry. I guess I got distracted there and didn't notice I kept that. So what Deep Well Heating does is it's essentially 2 mega credits more than SP Asteroid, but gives me a power for later on. But am I really going to use the power? I'm not so sure. If I get Power Supply Consortiumed, then that's really bad. He can't do it now, but I know he's probably about to play a Quantum Extractor, meaning that my power would be wasted if he did do that. And so that's just a 2 mega credit loss in that regard. So yeah, I don't know about that play. Okay, what card do we see here, ladies and gentlemen? We do not give him the TG. Yes, it sucks that we have to give him satellites. That is a 7 prod satellites for him, but TG is 6 points, so we don't give him 6-point cards. Tundra Farming is not a good card. I know I've said this many times. Everyone say it with me. It's not a good card. Gene Repair is playable for him. It's the same amount of VP, but it also comes with a card draw for him, so I don't want to give him that. Fusion Power, same deal. Card draw, don't give to him. Cut that. And Lunar Beam is just too late. Not relevant. Another draft where absolutely none of this is useful for me. So, I need to get the O2 bonus since I'm leading here. So I'm going to SP a Greenery. I do it here instead of doing it over here next to Noctis City. That means that 1, I am giving up on 2 mega credits of rebate value, which is unfortunate. But with all the card draw, I'm becoming increasingly concerned that he might have Noctis City, and I don't want to give him extra points if I can avoid it. I'm just going to go ahead and convert here and then be able to convert again right there and work my way up. He draws a card, doesn't like it, but gets his Quantum Extractor down, so yeah, as expected. Heat's perfect for 2 more heat bumps, so I can just keep raising that up. He plays a Fuel Factory, so again, focusing a little too much on production. He is playing cards he doesn't really need just to play them. It's okay because for Power Prod, I don't think there's that much of an opportunity cost. But it's still just an example of what's this really doing for you? Is this really paying off for anything in the context of this game? Like, not really, but not like awful either. Standard Tech. This is scary because by playing Standard Tech, it implies he has anti-grav. But if he's doing that, then why did he play the Fuel Factory as opposed to playing the anti-grav and then the Standard Tech? Well, I'm done. Yeah, and there's the anti-grav, so mistake on his part to play the Fuel Factory first. But, well, anti-grav is down now. That means he has the full -5 to his cards. He has card draw, and he has Standard Tech, which was one of the cards I was hoping to find as an out, because Standard Tech saves you 3 mega credits on each standard project, and it looks like I'm going to be standarding a lot of projects here. He sabotages me, which is really annoying. I would rather not lose 7 cash at this stage of the game, but it's a good move on his part. Restricted area, luckily he puts it in a bad area. So both are 4 mega credits of value, but what I want to do is I want to go along these central oceans, because these central oceans have plant rebates. Up here is kind of out of the way, not really where I'm wanting to go. So the fact he put it here is a blessing for me, because it means I don't have to worry about having this pathway blocked off. The unfortunate part is he has more card draw with -5, so that sucks. Phobos Space Haven, okay. It's a fine use of all that titanium. I don't hate it. Satellites for 8 production. Yeah, he's very rich now, but if you really look at the money, 24 plus 25 is 49. 2 plus 43 is 45. Money-wise, we're not that different. The problem is he has an extra 28 in cash of minerals and -5 to all of his cards, so he's actually quite ahead of me. But only 4 cards in hand. There is hope. Unfortunately, he does have 2 card draw, meaning that he will still be getting more. Okay, so at this point, you have to ask yourself, do I care about him getting another 7 mega credits? What's 7 more mega credits really doing for him here? Immigrant City is playable for me. It's 16 for a city, because I did take that deep well heating, which I'm a little on the fence about now, but it looks like it kind of paid off for me, because the Immigrant City does come into my hand. That is 16 for a city which can score me a bunch of points, so I think Immigrant City makes a lot of sense here, and he could use that to score points with all his steel. It's best just to not give any cards that score points, as opposed to cards that just increase production, so Immigrant City seems like the clear pick. Again, he's going a Jovian strategy, just deny any Jove you can, so Asteroid Mining Consortium needs to go. Mine doesn't matter, Peroxide doesn't matter. I take Peroxide because you maybe could need power. He definitely doesn't need mine. I think I did pass him that Mag Field Generators card, so that could be a use for 4 power, so no need to let him have more power for future cards. And just Immigrant City here, it is cheaper than a standard city, and I have a lot of money to work with here. He funds scientists, which makes a lot of sense. Draws with his business network, fine. I go ahead and play the Immigrant City, just go ahead and get it down. I am missing out on Ocean Rebate once again, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe I won't worry about an Ocean Rebate here, and I'm just going to play the Mangrove here. That could be alright. Space Station for even more discounts to all of his cards. And I'm just going to SP a Greenery to get 2 plants, which allows me to get another conversion, which I then place over here for 4 cash. Getting the cash swing here is very important, because getting the cash swing means that it's plus 4 cash for me, minus 4 cash for my opponent, and I need all the cash I can get. He plays the IO Mining Industries, and normally I would be a little bit skeptical of the Gen 8 IO. However, he is going a Jove strategy. It's 4 points. It was only 17 mega credits with his titanium lying around. I don't think it's that bad here. I think it is scary that he is going to Joves, and I am so glad I cut the TG already. Yeah, Cartel comes down. Obviously, it's pure profit for him, but better than him getting a city, I'm going to say. I go ahead and play the Asteroid because I didn't commentate it, but he did play the Bushes card here. And so Bushes gave him 2 plants, so he's up to 4 now. I'm just going to blow those up with my Asteroid, and then I can SP another Asteroid to take the last ocean. And again, I'm just going to work over this way and try and play Mangrove right there. And once again, I've set up very nicely that with the 1 power rolling over, 11 plus 4 plus 1 equals 16. That's 2 heat bumps. That lets me play the Mangrove, and I'm pretty happy about that. So, looking back on it, I'm going to say that deep well heating was actually a stroke of genius. I won't say it was intentional, that I mathed it all out, but I do think that it worked out well, and I'm going to just say it was subconscious. Just expectations of the game. Soil Factory, he is looking like he's trying to fight Landlord. It doesn't look reasonable. He's at 3 tiles. I'm at 10. I think Landlord is safely mine. Speaking of mine, they call it a mine. A mine. Me and my friends say that a lot because we like Lord of the Rings. I hope you all do as well. Okay, so it's an obvious pick here, and it's that fish. You don't give the guy fish. Never, never, ever, ever, ever pass the 1 point animal nonchalantly if there's ever a if there's all useless cards here. This card could enable imported nitrogen, it could enable large convoy, it could enable viral enhancers, it can enable local heat trapping. It's just a card you don't pass if you don't need to. So definitely take the fish and do not give it to him. Artificial Lake is an extra point from an SP Ocean. Small Animals is annoying hitting my plants. Hired Raiders is annoying hitting my cash. I ultimately say the cash is the most annoying because I'm 2 asteroids and 2 oceans and 2 greeneries away from ending the game here. Maybe it's possible I could end. I definitely can't. I'll get raided though, so I'm going to take that. Cut Heat Trappers, not like it matters. Fish and hired raiders and small animals. What I basically calculated at this state, I took a minute to think about it, is that realistically I don't see any way I can actually end this generation. So I'm going to take the continual point scoring cards here, and also hurt his scoring by hitting his plant prod. And if he helps me end, then I should be okay to still end. But if he stalls me out, I'm just going to take the point scoring cards I can and plan on ending next gen in Generation 10. I just raise heat twice. He digs. And funds miner. Yeah. Obvious fund. I can't fund anything. The reason is he has 9 heat and it's just continuing up. Say I fund Thermalist. Now all he has to do is play like a mass converter, and all of a sudden I can't easily use my heat to end, which means I'd have to spend 28 mega credits on these points, which I don't want to do. It's too risky of a fund. Banker's obviously not a thing, and miner's not a thing either. In fact, I'd say I'm a little I would criticize in that I would not fund miner. I would fund banker just because banker is so locked up. But I mean, realistically speaking, miner's also locked up, so it doesn't matter. Just means you have to think a little bit more about your minerals and where I can place my tiles to get more minerals, which you don't have to worry about for banker. So I go ahead and play the mangrove next to my city. I'm happy to get that, and the 2 plants lets me get another conversion. It does set up a 3-point city here, but ultimately I'm kind of setting up 3-point cities everywhere. It is what it is. And he does have the large convoy. So that is why it was so crucial I did not give him the fish, and I am so glad I did not, because that would have been a massive spike of points for him. Takes plants, which, he doesn't have any animals, so it makes perfect sense. It does mean that he's not going to be able to take Landlord still, but he is threatening to take my TR. So right now, what I'm wanting to do is I want to make things awkward for him. I want to take as much of the TR as I can, and that way it becomes a lot harder for him to take points away from me, because my hand's pretty empty. I'm just going to take cash from him. And I ultimately have the choice of taking TR or doing the fish, and I say I'm going to do the fish because I calculate, if he converts his plants, then 2 SP asteroids in the SP ocean. That's 28 plus 18 plus 2 back, so 16, so 44. I'm right on the edge of being able to end or not, but I ultimately decide I don't think he'll actually convert his plants. He's a good enough player. He's calculated I need 44 mega credits, so I'm going to play the fish, and I think I can still call his bluff because he won't risk like an investment loan or something like that. And he plays water import from Europa, so that's another Jovian multiplier. He's got 2 Jovian molts. Luckily, I know where the other 2 are. Ganymede Colony was in my opening hand. TG I cut, so it means his Jove threat is not as extreme as it could be, but it's still very good. I activate fish and play the small animals on him. He sells, he's stalling. I stall a little bit as well. He raises heat, which I was a little like, whoa, I didn't expect that, but not the end of the world either. And I say, alright, well, I'm going to SP a greenery then. You have a greenery that you could take. I'm just going to get a 2-point flip here on the TR. Now I'm going to just go ahead and close off this spot so you can't put a city there. So he goes ahead and converts, knowing that it doesn't affect game end anymore. I could SP an asteroid, but I have 11 heat coming in. I don't think he has a way of getting the asteroid very efficiently, so I'd rather just not waste my money on that. I'd rather save it for SP cities as need be. He does the artificial lake, cuts off a point for me. Good play on his part. Does mean that my ocean does not have to be SP'd. That means I have all the cash I need in order to just play to the board as best I can next generation. Solar power, that's okay. Lake Marineris, that's a good card, but just 2 victory points. Not like amazing, but it's -5, so for 16 or 13 if you drew it randomly. It's 2 points for 13 is not bad. Worms for 1 prod, not great. It means his card quality might not be that high, so I might still have a chance. Of these cards, Urbies is not actually that impactful. Like 1 point, probably. Radsuits is also 1 point, but Radsuits is essentially free for him, while Urbies still costs some money. So I'd start taking Urbies, but then I think about it and go, I think Radsuits makes more sense. And then there's the mass converter, there's the greenhouses, there's the protected habs. These cards don't really matter at this stage of the game as we're about to end, but greenhouses is the most impactful, so you take the greenhouses. A food factory has a point on it, so you cut the point. And so of these cards, you kind of need to do the math real quick. So I need to get 1 plant from somewhere. As long as I get 1 plant, that's all that matters. So I could do greenhouses. Alternatively, I could do an SP city as well. I could also do like an SP city, greenhouses, rad suits. That's 1868. I'm at 69, so I can SP city, rad suits, greenhouses, get the plants I need for the conversion, and it's not so bad. And that's ultimately, I think, the best course of action to score the most points. So I take those 2. He plays the mass converter. It does draw him another card, but I'd rather him take a chance at drawing something bad than getting a guaranteed 1 point. And he has nitrogen-rich asteroids, so a lot of discounts have stacked up. It's very cheap. Luckily, it is only 1 production because it only has 1 plant tag because we did a good job of cutting them throughout the game. But he does take my last heat TR from me, so I'm a little sad that happened. Only a 4-point difference now. So immediately I'm going to just SP city and I choose to SP a greenery. Reason is I'm playing around urbanized area or commercial district. I can't play around the urbanized area because it was in my opening hand. So this SP greenery is still 2 points. SP city down here is still 2 points, but it plays around commercial district a little better, which is the reason why I did it, but I don't think it matters too much either way. Nothing left to do but take my animals. He plays AI Central. I guess he must have just drawn that from the mass converter, so it's a 1 point and another Hail Mary to try and find some cards. But I'm just going to play the rad suits and the greenhouses, get the plants I need. He industrial centers, it takes away a point, but I'm still going to have space for one last point. And so, that's why the SP greenery was important after all, because industrial center could have blocked that point from me. He plays dev center, he's still drawing, trying to find more cards. But at this stage, the later you play the card draw, the less effective it is. I convert. He plays Noctis City. He did have it, so I am glad I stopped converting around Noctis City. But I pass. Notice right now that I'm ahead by 16 points, but that's only because Miner is tied right now. So really, I'm only ahead by 11 points right now. Plays mining rights, I guess hoping to have some sort of landlord flip, but I mean, that's not going to happen. Standards of city, which is 2 points, sure. Gets the conversion between them. We're at 92 to 97, but he's kind of out of cash. He has the investment loan, so maybe he knew about that. That's why he felt more comfortable about converting back in the previous generation. All he has is another SP city for 2 points. And so ultimately, no, it's actually 3 points. No, it's 2 points. Because there's the Phobos up here. So the immigration shuttles he played, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he got 2 points from it. So not as bad as it could have been. But notice he got those points because he had to SP 2 cities. So when you have -5 and a bunch of cards, you typically don't want to just be SPing cities if you can avoid it. And he concedes. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think conceding on the very last move is a little rude. By all means, if you're losing earlier in the game and you want to concede because it's obvious you've lost, that's fine. I have no issues with that. The problem is that I'll show you in a little bit once we finish discussing this game. It erases all the stats of the game. So I got 20 TR this game in my stats now, which is kind of annoying if you're looking to use your stats as a guide mark of how do top players play, what are their stats I should go for, etc. It's going to say 20 TR, and it's going to look really bad for people trying to analyze stats in the future. So that's why I don't like it when people concede at the end of the game. At the middle of the game, fine, I'll accept a loss of stats for the convenience of you saying, yeah, I'm done, I don't want to play anymore. That's completely valid. So I got lucky, I would say. I would say that all the card draw that he had, I probably should have lost. I think he got a lot of useless cards from his card draw and was not able to score points efficiently. You can see even with that, it was only a 3-point victory for me, just showing you how strong it is when all the discounts come into play. And he got about all the discounts. The only discount he was missing was shuttles. He had Space Station, Mass, Quantum to -6 to space, -5 to all cards. I guess he was missing Earth Office as well. But yeah, very scary what happens when -5 comes down. And what's the takeaway for you guys? It is, one, to try and evaluate the game state. How likely am I to win in a long game versus a short game? You can see I only barely squeaked out the win in a Gen 10 game. If I had to go Gen 11, I would have most certainly lost, so it's very good that I was able to correctly identify that I needed to prioritize terraforming. I got the 2 milestones I really needed. If a milestone had flipped, that would have been that. And I had the extra cash in order to fund Landlord. If I'd had to spend an extra 6 mega credits to fund at 14, and he'd spent 6 less, maybe there could have been another point swing, like I'd have gotten 1 less for the rad suits, and he might have found room for another 1 or 2 with 14 cash, and suddenly, right? It's a really close game. So it's very good to get the 8 fund. If you're the terraformer, you just have to be careful that it's not a stupid 8 fund, because certainly there have been times I funded Landlord and went, I think it'll be alright, and then, I lost Landlord, and thus the game, because I was too cocky with my 8 fund and tried to do it too early. Also, I want to point out that I didn't get particularly lucky this game, right? Let's look at my events. a whopping 3 of them. That 2 titanium from the asteroid never really paid off, did it? So I didn't get any oceans. I didn't get any big space events like Big Asteroid or Deimos or GIA. I didn't get the Lake Marineris. My opponent did. I didn't get the Ice Asteroid. I did this with SPs, essentially. And SPs can be effective with the ecoline when you have a strong heat setup. Notice how I was still able to essentially win the game through tempo with that high floor I talked about, even though my ceiling was not particularly high itself. Just goes to show you why ecoline can be such a menace in a 2-player game in this format. If I had found GIA and other events like that, I could have maybe ended Gen 9, and then my score looks a lot better compared to his. Let's go ahead and try and pull up the stats here. I don't think it'll pull up from game results here. So I can prove to you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah. So you can see here, 0 VP from cards, 0 from cities, 0 from greeneries. I got 20 TR, nothing from milestones or VP total. Like, it just hurts the stat nerd in me to want to look at these stats and then just see that it's all blanked out because of the surrender. So, not really a fan of that, but it is what it is. But well played to my opponent. There was a essentially 300-ish rating gap between us, and he still almost beat me. So congrats to him for playing above his skill rating according to Elo. But that's really all I have for you guys today for this arena season. Hope you guys will continue to enjoy the arena season like I am, and I'll see you guys here next week. Thanks.